Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the wood. I'm glad you all took the time to jump up on my wood. It's going to be a long, throbbing, hard show. And that's really going to be kind of a short but intense show. There you go. I don't know. That's enough dick jokes. Anyways, how you doing this morning? I hope you all are well. I'm miserable because Brian's here. But other than that, I'm okay. Um, check out tomorrow. Well, announcements. Really, there ain't many, but check out the rest of the week. Tomorrow we're gonna have Wizard of Calls, and my buddy D's gonna be on. That should be an interesting show. Today we're gonna talk about some murders done by priests, preachers, nuns, shit like that. The naughty nun who killed somebody. I don't know. But as always, we also talk about other things. And I want to introduce
Can I
the
just say
panel.
quickly, naughty nun? Are you sure that was genuine clergy and not a strippogram?
I was thinking strippergram actually.
Okay.
I did go to a strip club one time when there was a chick dressed like a nun. But anyways, that's an old thing. But anyways, of course we're joined by my buddy Red Eye. What's happening, man?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. And of course we're joined by my very good friend, very smart dude, Landon. No, how you doing?
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon your time zone and latitude.
Yeah, and of course we're joined by that British bastard, the mean old dude with the reverb, Brian. What's happening?
In a world without Stephen Hawking, we have Landon Knoll.
In a world without Stephen Hawking, we have a better world. Oh,
Shots fired. Shots fired.
I'm gonna talk about Steve, but he was an asshole. Stephen Hawking was a fucking asshole.
Wow.
You wanted his chair.
I did.
You're just jealous that they didn't name radiation after you.
Yeah. He was a bit of a dick, though.
Yeah.
He was a penis. Nah, he's
Well, he
all right,
had one. He had one, unlike
well,
some.
it wasn't working very well. But no, he was a smart dude, that's for sure. He's a very smart fella. Smart fellow indeed. How you guys doing this morning?
No,
I'm good.
Doing pretty well. And no, Underhaven, we were just joking. This show has bits of humor in it, and you can't take everything seriously.
No, I wasn't joking. He's a fucking.
Oh, did somebody take me seriously?
Jesus Christ.
No, when I said this, when I said that Hawkins was an asshole, they took me seriously. I guess I don't know Hawkins. I don't know if he was an asshole. Pretty smart guy.
He was nice to me, so
Yeah, I never knew the dude. But yeah, I like to just make up random facts about people and hope they get started. But yeah, so one thing I was gonna do this morning is because I know you guys pretty well, but maybe Underhaven don't know you. That's just a name I picked out in the chat. But Brian, you're a radio guy.
Well, yeah, I have aspirings too, and yeah, I do my bit.
You do a show called what is your show called? Your radio show?
My current show is called The Wub Factor. Yes, it's the Wub Factor. It's very bass centric. Thanks for tweeting it out the other day. I saw that.
Oh yeah,
I did give you a shout out. We play, or rather, I play mainly. Well, it's bass centric, so we're talking dubstep, glitch hop, all of the bass centric stuff, reggae. A lot of electronica. On Friday's show, we actually had Muse of all bands as a sort of featured band. Didn't play them straight, of course. We played whatever dubstep remixes I could find. Yes, the gay mixes that I could find. So yeah, that's it in a very, very small nutshell.
If you always wanted to be like in radio, or is that just something recently that came along? Or?
I built my first crystal set at the age of 15. One summer holiday in Norfolk. Me and a friend, we put together a little crystal set. It had a broadcast range of about half a mile, maybe a mile if we were lucky. And yeah, we spent a summer playing tunes over it. It was great.
I'm sorry.
Then in the 80s, when CB radio was a thing, I had a lovely little rig. It had got just about every single channel on every single band that you could have. And I picked out a little spot for myself way down on the AM lower bands so that I didn't bleed over and affect everybody else. And I had a little going concern there, which was rather nice. And then at the turn of the century, I had my own online radio station, which was playing a lot of unsigned artists, essentially, because I was part of the music making community at the time. And yes, now we have my exploits with Wolfman Radio.
That's something you don't get a lot of on like regular radio anymore, though. It's people who play unsigned bands and it's always, the top 40 guys. I guess that's why online radio is great, because there is a lot of people, but a lot of young people don't know this, but back in the day, they used to actually play people you never heard of to get you to hear of them.
Well, yeah, I mean, one of my, I suppose you'd call him, one of my mentors. Well, no, a mentor is somebody you have firsthand experience from. Inspirations, there you go, heroes, whatever you want to call them. Was John Peel on Radio 1. I first started listening to him on Caroline, I believe it was, or was he Luxembourg? I think it was Caroline. And he made a career out of doing that, going out of his way, listening to new people, undiscovered people. If you were a band in the 80s and you had John Peel in your audience, it was like, quietly, oh shit, yes, this is it. Don't fuck up tonight, boys.
Yeah, I used to love listening to radio when I was a kid, but I just can't stand listening to regular radio these days, man. Regular radio is absolutely horrible. That's like American radio.
It's so formulaic. It's so formulaic. It really is.
Well, the profit motive to minimize cost and maximize audience is probably driven radio away from the days when you actually had a DJ.
Yeah, but if you don't entertain your listeners, why the fuck are they going to tune in and listen to you?
Yeah. It's just, and also like we mentioned this the other day to Red Eye. In American radio, it's like you hear the same 10 songs in a day. It's not, they don't have a wide variety. It's the same 10 fucking songs.
Oh yeah, but when I'm putting my shows together, I'm compiling my playlists. One of the things that I look for is the last play. Yeah. And ideally, I will get tunes that I've not played on the show before. It may be a song, but the actual mix or the MP3, if I can get first airings, or the majority of the show first airings, that's perfect for me. But yeah, there are tunes that you do hook into that become a favorite, become popular. But even then, I'll try and play a mix that I haven't played before.
Yeah. And I do miss the entertaining DJ though, like because I was it was a while back, a few months ago. I was going back on YouTube stuff and listening to some old Wolfman Jack stuff. And,
Wolfman Jack. Oh, he was a fucking legend or what? Yeah,
Casey Kasem and stuff, people like that. The DJ was cool back then. And now you just don't have that.
Well, it's about personality more than anything else. Yeah, and if you're working for a station that's getting you to essentially sell its agenda to its audience, then there's very little room for personality.
You think the internet hurt radio?
What, you mean the same way that video
It's hurt
killed the
everything
radio
else.
star?
Yeah, basically.
No, I don't. Every time that comes around, like this new technology has killed that. No, pay attention. It works. What's actually happening is you have a new media that comes out, and all the established outlets are suddenly in a panic because they have no control over it. Yeah. So what they do is in the first instance, they try and put other people off using it so that they can go in there, monopolize the resource, and then all of a sudden it's cool. It's just another added avenue of earnings for them that they control. And I saw it happen with the tape. I've seen it happen with the CD. I've even seen it happen with the fucking MP3.
Yeah. I miss Blockbuster. I don't know why I said that. Anyways,
and the funny thing is, what's making us a fucking resurgence now is vinyl.
Oh, vinyl, yeah, vinyl's
it
on the
actually
way.
Never died. It's always had its fans, and there are. Here's the thing about vinyl. When I was a kid, you go and buy a fucking album, get this big brilliant thing, and the artwork on it usually had a fucking wicked poster inside it.
Yeah, now the collector is the artwork, very much so.
I get a download now. It's like nothing was better than buying the latest fucking Iron Maiden album and looking for that little Derek Riggs R symbol in the goddamn drawing. Right? And you know exactly what I'm talking about because I can see the look on your face. You've done it.
Yeah, it was almost a religious devotion. Every Saturday throughout the 80s, me and my buddies, Saturday morning, we'd go down the shops, and we had our little route that we had planned, and we had every single fucking record shop that there was between where we lived and where we were going to have breakfast, and then we'd hit them all on the way back just to see if there was anything that we missed.
And we did the same thing. We used to have a place. We'd travel a fucking hour and a bit in a car to go to this special record store in Brisbane that had everything in it, and then on the way back the coast you'd hit Rare Groove, which was upstairs in this really old archaic part of Surfers Paradise, and it was a fucking adventure. And you'd find just every time you go in there you get golds like Cramps albums, just pure fucking gold. And I miss those days. And
you don't find good. I'm sure there's a few out there, but you don't find good album stores anymore.
Specialist stores as well. I mean, once every couple of months or so. I mean, we had one of our favorite genres, and we went absolutely ape for it, was reggae. For me, it was dub reggae.
Yeah.
And during the 80s, a prize label that everybody was after, that had all the good tunes, that had all the originals, all the best mixes and shit, essentially was Studio One Records. The Cox and Dodd label, straight out of Orange Street, Jamaica. And that was about as pucker as it got.
You said Cox and pucker in the same sentence. I love that.
Yeah, Cox and pucker. They fit.
I'm a pervert.
They work,
They do work.
There is no more pucker reggae on the market than that coming out of Cox and Dodd's studio.
I like the way you say a British man saying pucker sounds way better than an American saying pucker. I'm just gonna say it.
Well, you see, this is because in English we have pucker, and we have pucker.
Pucker and pucker.
To pucker up.
Yeah, and kiss my ass.
And something that's pucker.
Pucker, okay. So, okay.
If it's pucker, it's cordon bleu, it's top of the range, it's top crystal, whatever you want.
And in Australia, we say, get pucked, you crunt.
There you go.
See, Australians don't even speak English. They got their own fucking language, man. It's English, but it's not English.
That's right. We just like to see the fucking look of utter confusion on everyone's face when we talk.
And they also have the right to rebellion. It's enshrined in their constitution.
We waged war against flightless birds and lost.
I thought you don't talk about that.
We pucker.
No, we don't.
Pucker the
mentioned that?
fucker.
Who
I just want
mentioned
to pucker the
emu war?
fucker.
Who fucking mentioned the emu? Fuck, it was me. Shit.
Yeah, I was just wanting to kind of talk about you guys' careers. Speaking of careers, I really wanted to talk about Landon's career in porn. It's
there actually is a association there.
oh well, please tell us, Landon.
Bow chicka motherfucking wow.
Well, here's the lowdown on this. All right, okay. When you're working in the Antarctic, there is so little to do. Yeah, you get
warm.
You get bored, and of course, yeah, it's a cold environment, so you have to keep warm. So you spend a lot of your time in these nice little enclosed warm bubbles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with nothing more constructive to do because you can only look at the stars at night when they're there. Yeah. So during the day, what else do you do?
You jerk off.
There you go.
Wait. What do you do during summer when there is no fucking stars to look at? It's a 6-month-long porn shoot. That's what it is.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Now Landon's going to break our brains by telling us that there's actually a way to view the stars during the daytime.
Yes.
Actually, there is because if you have enough aperture, you can actually pull stuff through the signal.
Well, that's pucker.
I mean, for example, you can see something like something as bright as maybe. Jupiter,
the sun?
Sun, yeah. There you go. You were just fooling us talking about soul.
Even if you know where it is, the difficulty is you've got to know where stuff is in the sky.
Yeah. I've seen the moon during the day.
Yeah. You've probably seen the sun during the day too.
I see that well.
I know.
Not as regularly as I like because it's generally hidden behind a massive steam vapor.
Yeah,
but
that UK thing.
Yeah.
That's just
by the way,
fart steam vapor.
But so should we just leave it at that and move on and let people wonder?
No.
I genuinely want to know how you get through through our own star's light pollution to get to the other star light.
Oh, I was thinking about the other thing. Well, because when you see blue, what you're seeing is the sun.
Yes. Yes.
The thing called Rayleigh scattering, where there's gas, oxygen.
Isn't the blue caused specifically by the oxygen or the nitrogen? I forget which.
I think it's the oxygen.
Isn't that why water tends to be blue as well?
Yeah.
The blue is caused by the royalty in our atmosphere. Come on, guys.
Yeah. So what you have is this fog of blue in the sky, and that is so you really are when you're seeing a blue, you're looking at the sun. Shining, basically being spread throughout the sky,
essentially refracting through the oxygen.
It's fortunate that the sun doesn't shout too much in that part of the spectrum.
Now, if
uncomfortably bright,
as a mind experiment here, okay, as a thought experiment, okay, knowing the difference between redshift and blue shift, is it possible? Is it conceivable? That the reason oxygen in the air and the atmosphere looks blue is because the sunlight is coming towards us?
That's not that is it. The sunlight coming towards you will come towards you at the speed of light.
Yes, I know, but
now if the object that's emitting it is coming towards you.
That's when it blue shifts and red shifts.
Yes.
Okay. So in order for that to be the reason, the oxygen would have to be pressing downwards, or rather have a downward vector.
Well, again, in terms of the, you're talking about with the scattering that you're.
Yeah, because it's a Brownian motion, isn't it?
It has to do with basically there's the scattered photon has to be a particular size because of the molecule distance. In fact, there's a formula that will tell you what the scattering particle size is in that area.
Now, when we're looking at something, isn't the color that we see that's the light not absorbed by the object? It's the light reflected off the object, and that's the color we see. Is that the way real basic?
When you if you see it's like a painting or paint on the side of a building or something, you're seeing light reflected off of it. When you see light being transmitted through gas, you're seeing a transmission because there's reflection, emission, and
refraction.
Absorption. Yeah. So, in the case of the atmosphere, you're seeing the shorter blue wavelengths being scattered more strongly than red wavelengths. And that's the blue lights. And you can look at the effectiveness of the scattering, based upon, and there's scattering has to do with the particle size. So, air molecules that are within about 1/10 of a wavelength of your light. So you'll have more effective, in our case, from light from the sun, given our atmosphere, blue is much more effectively scattered than red. And so that's why, the light in the sky is very much a blue color, because that is a much more preferred scattering.
And don't we also have a layer of or remnants of a layer of ozone that absorbs a lot of the reds and the infrareds? That end of the spectrum.
Well, it also absorbs a lot of the ultraviolets.
Yes.
Yeah. And you see the sky change colour early in the morning and late at night. It's like the old saying, pink sky at night, sailor's delight, pink sky in the morning, sailor's morning. It means if you wake up in the morning and the sky's a nice pink, you're probably going to have a pretty rough day of weather, whereas late in the afternoon, we get like really nice mango-looking sunsets here. The sky just goes a beautiful mango colour for a while. It totally changes colour. It's no longer blue. It's because the sunlight's now having to come through a hell of a lot more atmosphere to get to my eyes, and it's light. It just changes everything. It's just all the different.
So Rayleigh scattering, you're right, causes blue hue during the blue hue of the sky during the daytime, and the reddening of the sun at sunset.
So a lot of it has to do with the angle that it's coming in at as well.
Yes, there's a scattering preference. So
how much
scattering of sunlight is basically caused by diffuse sky radiation. So that's a transmission. So it's not like you see a red piece of paper where that red piece of paper absorbing most of the visible light but reflecting red. This is a transmission where the light comes through the atmosphere, and the atmosphere is mostly clear. But if you saw it in infrared, like mid-infrared, you would see lots of fog stuff, because the water vapor that's there, even when it's dry, is a strong absorber of infrared. And of course, our lovely ozone layer cuts out a lot of the ultraviolet, because that sun is actually a nasty radiation emitter. This giant.
Yeah. So getting back to the original question,
porn.
In order to look, and in order to see distant objects, essentially what you do is you filter out the sun's overspill, for want of a better word.
Sure. And so a couple ways is to make sure that you don't have direct and indirect scattering of light. So it's much more difficult to see things in the daytime near the sun, or angular-wise position. And then you can enhance your contrast by having a filter that sort of cuts off, let's say, green and focuses on let's say yellow, orange, red, or even down to near infrared. And then you need, of course, if you have a really large telescope as well, you can pull in better signal. So The difficulty, of course, is finding it in the sky. I mean, but the stars are there during the daytime. They're just swamped by the your eye is seeing the blue scattering from the sun. It's swamping out
Right.
your retinas.
So when you filter that out, essentially you would be seeing through to the stars.
Yes, and as you see at night, and as you go above the atmosphere, or you move up in the atmosphere, you can look down below and see that sort of blue glow, the sunlight coming through, and so farther out you see the ball of the Earth with the atmosphere gravitationally bound down to the surface, and you can see this sort of blue haze.
Yeah, you can just about get high enough to see that in a plane as well when you're doing
if you're high up. Again, this is on the side. Now at night, because the sunlight bleeds through about 18 degrees of latitude. In fact, it's one of the reasons why they call astronomical twilight. When the Earth has turned you 18 degrees behind the sun, at that point, the amount of sunlight that can leak through the atmosphere is vanished to zero.
Yeah.
So the civil twilight being 6 degrees of rotation, nautical being 12, and astronomical being 18. The civil is where you say there's enough light for you to operate with daytime operation, so you can drive a car without headlights, so forth. And nautical, you can operate to see charts and do some functions, but again, it's getting dark. And at 18 degrees is when you can no longer detect light from the sun, because it's not basically refracting around the Earth's atmosphere.
Okay. Well, how are you connected to porn?
Oh, that question. I wanted to. So a man named Larry Flint. You probably heard.
Yes.
Well, when we were working in the computer industry, Larry Flint contacted us. He was very interested in building a digital archive of his large, let's say, photographic collection. And he was extremely concerned that in digitizing it, he may be, pun intended, exposing his photography to mass distribution that he was not prepared to have yet. Mm-hmm. And he was quite well aware, even on the internet, that there were photos from, let's say, some of his publications, and you could tell because particularly the things like the centerfolds had folds in them, where he had the original. He had the original negatives, or he called negatives, and also the prints. So his particular task for us was to build a digital library and a digitization process, first of all, that wouldn't damage his film stock. So it was a process of the raw photo shoots, as well as the processed images. I mean, I know that it might be cause some people angst, but a lot of the photographs that were in Larry Flint publications were highly processed, and that processing, that recipe, is as much part of the artwork as the original content.
Oh, of course it is.
Yeah.
Right. And so it was not only but he also recognized that film stock had a limited life, and that if he didn't do something with it, he would lose it forever. And some of his very, very early film was actually beginning to fade, and so there was also some restoration that was done. That we did some stuff with restoration of stuff, films like Star Wars as example. That so he knew about our work, but he also knew about stuff that we had a lot of stuff relating to cryptography, and so we built a fairly sophisticated system for him, a process by which he could do archiving of his content, and archiving of his, and then protect it. So it was he building his, and then the idea was then they having had an encrypted digital medium, they could then release it. And we also built in processes because cryptography is broken or gets weakened every so often. So there was a process by which you re-encrypt to something better. And also in archival things, you really need to have a flexible system, because if you build a rigid structure of curation, then there'll be something coming in that will break the mold, and you stick it in a drawer because you don't know what to do with it. You need to have a flexible archival system that allows you to do that. Anyway, we were very successful in building an archival system and building a state-of-the-art digitization. I mean, he liked what was done with some of the Star Wars releases and how they helped people like George Lucas preserve the original content. And to my knowledge, the master files that are the Star Wars movies have never been on the internet. And the machines that have them have, like Larry Flint's publications, has been upgraded, because they're old machines. You don't want to sit there and have what you don't want to do is to say, oh, I've archived it, I digitized it, I'm done. Because 10 years from now you'll have better digitization, so you might want to redo that. Also, you find that something like a CD, a compact disc, has a lifespan, and if you're not treating them well, those things will begin to decay.
So basically, you're a preserver of pussy when it comes to this.
Yeah. So we had a final meeting with Mr. Flint. I remember, and his handlers was saying, Mr. Flint does not like questions. You should only
his handlers
answer questions if we sort of give you the nod, type of thing. Because they apparently he didn't want people asking him questions, and sometimes he asked questions that his handlers tried to deflect and say, well, let's move on to something else.
Treat him like royalty. He's excellence.
Well, his offices are down in New Orleans, down on Bourbon Street and off Bourbon Street area, there. But he was treated like royalty. I mean, they when he would come in and out of his offices, you could tell they would, clear a path for him. Anyway, he came into this final meeting where he was. He had been
don't lean away. You can't hear you.
I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I had to adjust something here. He had to. So he came into, because he was actually impressed with what we did, and wanted to thank us. And he said, I know that you have been. One of the things he says, I know that you've had unprecedented access to my archives, and so and other things. It was. Even at the time, this is again in the 90s. At Silicon Graphics, we had to have special rooms where this content was being processed, because we did not want to have workplace harassment stuff dealing with some of his artistic material. So one of the things he also was impressed by, because apparently they had undercover people watching us, is he said, at no time did I even detect that you attempted to steal some of my artwork, and he wanted to thank us for that we were honest. And he said, and for that reason, I want to give you an original print of anything in the collection that you name.
That's cool.
So one of the things is that in doing some of the testing of the archiving and some of the stuff, obviously I was seeing things like centerfolds, but without the fold, right? The raw images there, and having to do stuff. But I didn't really pay attention to, this is Ms. March 1970 or whatever the thing was. I didn't have the content, but I did remember one thing, which I remember was he had things besides photographs in his collection. And so when it came to me, I said, well, Mr. Flint, I would really like the original print of your an Asshole of the Month column where Jerry Falwell was allegedly accused of having sex with his grandmother in the outhouse.
Oh,
and if
yeah.
You know about Larry Flint, and there was actually a trial around that sort of thing, and that Falwell accused him of defamation, whatever. And Larry Flint thought that was an excellent thing. So in my possession, in my State of Light box, is the original artwork from that particular.
That's cool.
That particular column of stuff. It's an outhouse, and it's basically it says allegedly that inside the outhouse is Jerry Falwell and his grandmother having sex.
Very tasteless joke, but funny. It was funny.
Yeah, it was, and so that is Landon Knowles. You asked, connection with porn. That's one of my connections with porn.
There you go.
Right. So let me get this straight. Rather than the 6-month porn orgy sessions that you have in the Antarctic, you've chosen to have your link to porn be a random picture of an outhouse with someone allegedly having sex inside it.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's not as freaky as we are, Brian.
Hey, boss, you should ask me about my connection to the porn world now.
We know your connection.
That's one hell of a kink.
It's called Jergens hand lotion. That's your connection to porn, Red Eye.
Yeah, fucking I'll watch a shitload of it.
So
that's
those
the same
are
connection
things,
I have.
That is probably something that you never would have guessed, but
yeah, well, that's cool.
My ISP goes, how can he download 25 hours a day worth of porn in 24 hours? He's breaking everything now. What the hell?
Well, that's easy. You watch it in your TARDIS, don't you?
Yeah. Before we do start talking about these murder things that I wanted to kind of tangle, I don't have music, but however, Red Eye has recently had a death in his family.
Oh, condolences, sir.
Yeah, and
I didn't know.
Okay.
Don't get too sad, y'all. Don't get too sad. You're about to run a joke.
There's a tragedy in the family. Recently, I noticed that one of my guitars was sick, and the tremolo wasn't lining up properly. And there she is.
There she is, ladies and
Rest
gentlemen.
in peace, the Green Machine.
But display that so that people can see.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna do a little prayer for this his loss.
Okay,
today.
That guitar's famous. I saw it on Twitter the other day.
So, brothers and sisters, we are gathered here today to lay at rest Brother Red Eye's guitar. I said his guitar. So, ladies and gentlemen, please bow your head for a moment of Bill and Ted's air guitar. Amen. May he rest in peace.
Oh, goodbye, Hamer. No, it blew out one of the trem studs, and because it was designed in a time where they didn't take tolerances into consideration, it actually blew the wood out straight into the fucking cavity where the tremolo sits, so it can't be fixed. It's fucking dead. So rest in peace, Diablo. You served me well. And that guitar was given to me by a friend of mine who I made a cigar box guitar for about fucking 8 years ago. So, yeah, thanks, Chris. I had a ball with that guitar, man.
Yeah.
But it's fucking dead now. It's in parts.
Well, my condolences.
Yeah.
But Landon and Brian was about to get sad. I was like, oh, shit, I better end this real quick.
What do you mean about to?
Well, wait a minute. No, wait a minute.
Don't downplay the death of a guitar, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Can I have a recent death, too?
Oh,
I ran out of lotion.
God damn it. Although, I did.
No.
There was a new arrival today. A Stork mysteriously dropped off a 5-string court bass guitar to go with the 4-string
Cool.
court bass guitar. So yeah,
That's good, man. I'm glad you got you a new bass. A new
Red Eye
bass.
does have a guitar habit.
A new bass.
I'm-
Bass guitar.
I'm a bit guitared. Oh man, just need another fix.
Oh,
That was just not.
Come on, man.
That was a good dad joke, I guess. Anyways, okay, the murder. Look, you could basically do this with any kind of person, right? You could say murders with celebrities, plumbers, or anybody. But today we're gonna be talking about some murders with like pastors and nuns or whatever. The first one I wanted to talk about, I've never heard of this one, but it was a guy named David Love. He was a pastor of the New Hope Baptist Church in Independence, Missouri. Was a friend and trusted confidant of former Marine Randy Stone. When Stone was having marital problems with his wife, Teresa, he would talk to Pastor Love about it, looking for guidance. Love, who was also married, never let on that he and Teresa have been having an affair for 10 years. So the guy he was going to talk about his marital problems was fucking his wife. On March 10th, 2011, Teresa found Randy shot to death with his own gun in his office. A funeral was held a few days later, and his friend and pastor, David Love, gave part of his eulogy. Shortly after his murder, Love moved to South Carolina, but the police soon found out about the affair and arrested him and Teresa. Teresa confessed that she had given Love the combination to her husband's safe where he kept his gun. The plan was to murder him and collect the insurance money. This dude was a piece of shit. Not only did he was giving his friend marital advice, who he's fucking his wife. He preached at his funeral. Good Lord, this dude was a dick.
Did he get a share of the insurance?
Well, I guess the police figured it out before they got the insurance, but that's what they were trying to do.
Damn.
He was given a life sentence. Teresa also pled guilty and received a sentence of 8 years in prison.
I mean, I know that they probably did it for the insurance, but committing insurance fraud by murdering somebody seems to be a really bad idea, because chances are the insurance company can figure out you're connected, and the insurance companies don't like to pay claims. They like to receive payments but not pay claims.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
annoyed. Go ahead.
It's like trying to hide something using a sledgehammer.
Yes.
Sledgehammer. Yeah, that's true though. That's a good fucking joke. Good point. It's very true. It's crazy though, but how shitty do you have to be? Like, let's just say me and Brian are good friends. He comes to me like, you're my leader, pimp. I need to talk to you about my marital issues. Okay, I'll give you marital. And all the time I'm fucking his wife, and then supposed to be his best friend. I'm your preacher. Then I preach at your funeral, and I'm the one that put the bullet in your head. What the fuck, dude?
And they probably prayed over the whole thing too.
Oh, they did.
Imagine that he's the guy that the dude goes, he says, "Pastor, I need some advice." Me and my wife have been fine. He says, Now listen here, son. What you need to do is let's say every Tuesday and Thursday between the hours of 2 and 5 o'clock,
go bowling.
You should go bowling. Maybe go for a long drive over to the next state.
A little bit of time apart.
Yeah, there's a lovely little park there. You can sit on this bench here. It's about a 3-hour drive. You just go over there twice a week and make sure you leave at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right. You drop by my place before you go. I'll make sure you got enough money for fuel and stuff. I'll take care of you. Yeah.
I can drive you there.
I'll be praying for you, son. I'll be praying for you.
Here's another complaint I have on this. He got a life sentence. She gave him the combination. She helped planned it, and she only got 8 years. That's kind of
quality.
Certainly I would think she should get at least the
a
same
fucking life sentence for being a fucking part of a murder.
Yeah, I mean, she may have not pulled the trigger, but she was every bit as guilty.
Yeah.
Don't you think, Brian?
I do. I agree.
Yeah, people that in the getaway cars that are fully complicit in the crime, and they get
that's equality for you, right? The man gets a life sentence. No, I shouldn't say that's probably true though.
Oh, you want an example of that? Recently, there's one on my Facebook page where a woman used a machete to force a man to have sex with her. Not once did they use the word rape, right? And she was not charged with rape, right? But if a man forced a woman to have sex at machete point, he would be charged with rape with a capital fucking R-A-P and an E and about 50 million fucking exclamation points fucking after it. It was just like the double standards on display, and not one media organisation used the fucking R word. Not fucking one, and I showed a screenshot of at least 5 different media organisations that all call it aggravated sexual fucking.
But my question is, what was he wearing? What was he wearing, Red?
What was he wearing? He was wearing Daisy Dukes and a fucking cut-off tank top.
He was asking for it.
Yep.
I
was walking down a dark alleyway at night, the dirty whore.
I have to give him props, though, for being able to maintain an erection under that sort of pressure.
Yeah, that's the thing.
How the fuck do you keep a boner up when a bitch has got a machete to your throat?
Oh, here's the thing.
I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
It's actually the nerves in your dick. Once it's touched, it just gets hard. I don't know. I'm making this shit up as I go.
Yeah, you are. And I'll tell you how I know that. Because at 56, I've run into my fair share of boner killers.
Yeah. I was making that shit up as I went. I don't know. I was trying to be.
Believe it or not, there is some tiny bit of control that men do have over their peckers, and if you do not fucking do it for a man whatsoever, there will be no response from the petty woodle. It will just stay shriveled up and go, nope.
Yeah,
homie, don't play that.
Yeah, but you can, with conscious effort, you can make it happen. But not with a fucking machete held over.
No, that would be a boner killer.
Yeah, it really would.
Unless, of course, you're into some people are into those sort of things.
Yeah, but maybe he didn't get a boner.
I would be surprised.
That's a good point.
Has some.
He probably didn't get a boner.
Has some photos with machetes.
He probably didn't get a boner though. She probably just like I don't know. I don't know.
Well, maybe she changed her tactic after they'd agreed. All right, okay, I'm not going to kill you now, so I'll put that away and we'll get it on.
She took popsicle sticks and a shoestring, tied it to the dick, and kept it up. Now
I don't know what You're probably making that up as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Because
now what she could have done. Now this is a wait a minute. I got it now. This is how a woman can rape a dude and give him a raise. This is true. She force feeds him Viagra.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
Yes. I mean, honestly, I don't know if this has ever happened.
So in addition to the missing rape charge, there's also a missing drugs charge there.
Yeah.
But how much fun could it be humping a grown man that's just sobbing and crying?
No.
Yeah, but hang on. No, there's more to explore here because just getting it up isn't enough.
Yeah.
Oh shit! What have I done?
And over.
Well, she can get it in. She just got to sit on it.
Oh my god! What have I done? It's all my fault.
You broke the show. See, there's a dumpster fire that comes with Red Eye.
Oh, let this one
has a. We need to. Somebody, please, Red Eye, my assistant. Google if anybody's ever been raped while the woman forced the guy to eat Viagra or something. I want to know if that's ever happened.
Yeah, let's give the fucking Australian Federal Police a really good excuse to start looking at my internet browsing.
Bonus points if it's a nun or priest.
Has any man ever raped another fucking? Has any man been raped by? Oh Jesus! Here we go. If you hear sirens, it's because the fucking feds are grabbing me. All right.
But that would seem like the viable way to rape a dude, though, right?
Well, you can always use emotional blackmail. That works.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
God. If this comes back as a fucking yes and there's something like this has happened, I'm giving up on humanity.
I'm just really curious now if that's ever happened.
Oh, Jesus Christ, it fucking has. Oh, no.
Of course it has.
And oh my fucking God. May 30, 2017, 3 women rape man after forcing him into taxi and kidnapping him in South Africa. A gang of women in South Africa kidnapped a man and raped him repeatedly for 3 days while force feeding him energy drinks laced with Viagra.
Oh my goodness.
The victim was later found traumatized and exhausted after being dumped in a field semi-naked after his 72-hour ordeal with barely any skin left on his penis. The last bit wasn't actually written in the article.
Wow.
Wow. It's almost Rule 35, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rule 34 is there's going to be porn on it. Rule 35 is there's going to be a crime committed with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Rule 36, Pimpmunk probably sitting there thinking about it right now. What?
Oh.
I thought that was Rule 37.
That's Rule, that's Rule
it gets
1.
worse. One of the women allegedly injected him with an unknown substance. He passed out and then woke up in an unfamiliar room in a single bed. The female suspects allegedly, is one of my favorite words that I can't say apparently, forced the man, vegetably, forced the man to fucking hell. Fuck, I'll start again. The female suspects then allegedly forced the man to drink energy drinks before taking turns raping him numerous times a day for 3 days.
Damn.
The victim from Pretoria, South Africa, was dumped in a field in Benoni where he flagged down passing motorists who called police. And then I was hoping someone would have a bucket of ice for his penis as well to cool it down. Thing would have been molten hot from all of that action.
Damn.
Skin torn off it. Oh, poor bastard.
Oh, boy, I feel sorry for the
The police said he lost count of the number of times he was raped, and I'm laughing at that. I'm a piece of shit.
You did laugh, you piece of shit.
Poor sod's bought in a miniature fucking pork loin.
I'm a massive shitlord.
So Red Eye, so you found this thing, but given that this is also about naughty priests and nuns, find one where it's involving a priest or a nun.
These are all 3 nuns.
Landon's just up to
some
the degree of
religious,
difficulty.
or some kind of religious, something or other. Find.
They went to church once, right?
Went to church once.
Oh, so I'm gonna. I'd rather not talk.
They
about
were
the time
they were the solo. They were the soloists in the local choir.
They put Viagra in the communion one. I don't know.
The guy was their pastor.
Oh, could you imagine?
Damn, that's fucked up. But
we have a question stroke joke from Stan in the chat room. What kind of meat does a priest eat?
I know this, but go ahead and answer it.
None, spelled
None.
N-U-N. Yeah.
But before we get back on to other stuff, I do want, when Red Eye said something, it's a thought popped in my head. We do this on the show all the time and we get off reservation, so that's fine. The word allegedly, right? Red Eye uses it as a joke all the time. But have you noticed, used to every time a news organization reported a story, they would say the alleged. But have you noticed it lately when anything that involves racism or rape, they do not use that word anymore?
No,
that's because it's part of the demonization process.
Yeah.
How do you can't dehumanize someone if you allege it. You've got to just you got to throw that fucking lump of shit and make sure some of it sticks.
Yeah, I've been reading a lot of articles lately, and I was like,
I don't know.
Frozen.
I noticed.
You're frozen.
That was a very good reaction. That's more or less how I would react.
Deer in the headlights. What the fuck?
Just freeze. Yeah, exactly. Deer in the headlight syndrome.
Sorry, but yeah.
What the?
Sorry about that.
No, here's 2 words that most of the modern press haven't heard. It's called journalistic integrity. They should fucking try it sometime.
Here's a couple of words that they're hearing more often. Get fucked.
Yeah. That's a load of shit. That's another phrase for them. I wouldn't line my kitty litter tray with that fucking pile of shite.
Yeah.
I almost said that to the BBC in 94, 95.
You said it to a big black cock?
No, the British Broadcasting Company.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yes, we've moved away from porn. BBW, WBCs. Yeah, we've
British
moved away
Have
from
we,
that.
capitalistic
really,
cunt.
have we really moved away from porn, though? That is the question.
Actually, Brian, I saw it. I want to bring this up now. You've just reminded me. It turns out all those TV detector vans that were driving around that the BBC was spruiking, they're full of shit. Those things don't detect fucking nothing.
They don't.
It's a gimmick. It was all bullshit.
Yeah, it was. It is all bullshit. Yes.
And they reckon they've repurposed them now to pick up on fucking everyone's internet connections and shit, so they can try and ping you if you're watching TV over your internet now. It's like, are you trying to tell us that you're going around decrypting everyone's network fucking data to see if they're downloading shows? Go fuck yourself, you lying sacks of shit. So anyone from England, the BBC are lying to you. They don't have any detection vans. They're full of shit.
There's also another lie intricately woven into the TV licensing, and that is the legality of imposing that license.
Yeah.
Do tell.
Yes, if you actually pay it, then you are by that action engaging a contract. If you never pay it, you never engage the contract, you are never legally obligated to pay it.
Well, shit. There you go, kids.
So it's in the UK. It's voluntary.
No, it is put down, and it is splashed all over the place that it's mandatory, but it is a toothless in far of enforcement. Mandatoriness.
Interesting.
Cool. Well, Red Eye, is there any incidents where religious people vaguely raped someone?
I could not find an instance of it. I'm not saying that it didn't happen, but Google was not cooperating, and I thank the gods for that.
Just because Raisin says she's going to pass that information on, there is a very important caveat, and that is if you do ever get caught with a TV, then, and it's actually working and functional, then yes, technically you can wind up in court. But they have no real mechanism to get in to make that discovery. Okay?
Wow.
So if you are going to do it and stand by your laurels on it and dig your heels in, then you better make sure that if and when you ever have to let somebody in, you don't actually get caught with your trousers down.
Oh, okay. I like to get caught with my trousers down.
Yeah, because if you have no TV, no broadcast TV, then you do not have to have the license. And most of their investigations are done by looking at a street and seeing which ones do not have a license, and then trying to freak that person into and hassle them into buying a license.
Damn. All right. Well, all right. Kind of getting back on subject. In 2002, former Navy chaplain Mike Tabb and his young family, had just moved into the tiny town of Troop, Texas, because he had been hired as the minister of the town's Methodist church. Tabb's wife, 35-year-old Maria, had given birth to the couple's second child 6 weeks prior to moving to Troop. On August 5th, 2002, Tabb called the sheriff's department and in a panic. His wife had been severely beaten in their house, which was located behind the church. When the police arrived, they found Maria lying in a pool of blood. She had been so severely bludgeoned that her jaw was shattered and her face was unrecognizable. There had been a struggle, and a table was missing 2 of its legs. One of the legs was never found. It is thought to have been the murder weapon. One odd thing the police noticed was that the crime scene looked like it had been cleaned up a bit. The police took Tabb's clothes and found traces of blood on his shoes and in his truck, which led to him being arrested a short time later. On September 29, 2003, Tabb pleaded guilty to the murder of his wife. It was decided that his motives would not be revealed in court for the benefit of Tabb's 2 children, although it was suspected that Tabb was leading a double life and that there were problems in the marriage. Tabb was sentenced to 55 years in prison, though he will be eligible for parole in 27 years. So he beat her to death with table legs.
Wow.
Damn.
That takes a lot, really. I mean, probably it can only take one shot, but they said he beat her so much that her face was unrecognizable. And That's just fucked.
That's sick, dude.
That is. It's quite awful. But if you're gonna do it, I guess do it that way. I don't know. That was wrong for me to say. I don't know. That's just horrible, dude. Red Eye, why would you do something like that?
Pizza.
Pizza. Well, they said they wouldn't give why he did it, but it was probably pizza.
I'd say it's a safe bet that the wife probably hogged too much pepperoni pizza one night. Dude flipped his shit, went postal.
Yeah. Now,
but the question has to be asked: is pizza gluttony really bludgeoned to death with the table leg worthy?
Pizza.
It was biblical gluttony. She ate 3/4 of that fucking pie, man. I reckon she may have had.
Well, it depends on what style. Is it Chicago deep dish or New York? If it's New York, yes, beat the bitch over. Chicago, no, it ain't that good. New York.
That's another thing. What makes pizza a pie?
It's because
it's got no crust. It's got no lid. It
does have crust.
Filling. No, it's like a huge ass circular piece of fucking toast with tomatoes and cheese on it.
Pie's a circle, right?
It's fucking cheese on toast.
It has crust. Although pies don't have to have top crust.
Yeah, it does have crust though. It does have crust.
Yeah, but it's bread. It's cheese on toast.
No, disagree. Disagree.
It's fancy cheese on toast. In Welsh, they call that a Welsh rarebit.
It's fucking pie.
Put pepperoni on it and lots of tomato saucy stuff, and goddamn, it's deliciousness.
Delicious.
Toast is good, but pizza's just fucking the next level of fuck yeah.
Actually, talking of toast, Reddit, you know the Vegemite Marmite discussion.
Yeah.
Do you happen to know what a dirty Kylie is?
No. Oh, no.
Do we want to know? I assume we do.
Yes, we do.
A dirty Kylie is a British crumpet that's been toasted with butter and Marmite on it.
Oh.
Sounds
like
good.
A sex position, though, a dirty Kylie.
A Kylie is just a straightforward buttered crumpet.
Sure.
Right. Sure. Here you go. Grate some cheese, stick that under the griller for 10 seconds, and then call it a crusty one.
Yep, there you go. There's a crusty
By the way, speaking of the suggestion you had on the toast, I recommend using tomato paste.
Ah, yes.
Right. Dip in because it has a consistency, similar consistency to Vegemite, and it's not laced with all kinds of sugar and other sort of things that they put in ketchup.
Yeah, there's not half a field of cane sugar in each bottle.
Yeah.
That's what sauce is.
We're talking about toast. Go ahead and it was your idea, Brett. Go.
Yeah,
look,
just to finish off the Kylie thing.
The
reason they're called Kylies is, and I believe this to be the case, it's because it's her favorite British bread product.
Okay. Now I get it, because it's for people. I'm guessing this is about Kylie, and I call her Kylie Minogue.
Yes, you're Kylie Minogue. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you're traitorous Anglophilic Kylie.
Kylie Jenner.
Oh yes. I tell you what though, her butt in those gold hot pants that she wore in that film clip. My God, that woman! What a fucking body! Insane. Right. Vegemite toast. When I was a kid, I used to like putting tomato sauce on everything because I was a weird little fucking piece of shit. And I discovered that Vegemite toast with a dollop of tomato sauce on the top of it was this really weird but yet awesome taste. So I started doing that, and I still do it now, and I'm 45. I'm a fucking weirdo.
I'm glad you said dollop. Not many people use that enough. Dollop. Everybody's a little bit or a tad. I like the word dollop.
Yes.
Dollop. Has a food.
Real men dollop.
Yeah.
It's also got a politically correct fool, idiot connotation. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, great dollop.
Sounds a bit classier than I'll put a bit of a splooge of tomato sauce on me toast, mate.
Well, I don't know. I like splooges. They work.
No, you don't want to say
splooge is a great word.
Yeah, but you don't want to say splooge when you're talking about food.
Oh
Splooge.
yeah.
I splooged some sauce all over that.
I went into the kitchen and I splooged all over that motherfucker. It was great.
Peanut butter splooge sandwich.
Yes, I splooged
nice.
everywhere with that sauce.
Nice
like
splooge
country
of peanut
boy.
butter on your toast. You can't beat it.
Yeah, but y'all gotta
Bloody
say
lovely
like,
splooge.
y'all gotta stand like a country boy. You gotta that's splooge. It ain't splooge, it's splooge.
Yeah, we're just gonna put a bit of a splooge of that Tabasco on there.
Splooge
See,
it on there,
folks,
baby.
Oh, splooge.
This is why you turn into this show, because where on the internet are you going to have a discussion about splooge, about Viagra rapes, and
I still
naughty
think.
Dirty Kylie's.
Hey, Luna, don't you say yuck or I'll splooge
Well, here's
some.
the
No,
question:
I'm
when you're being Viagra raped, here's the question: when you're being Viagra raped, do you splooge?
only if it's at machete point.
So Red Eye, you should, but dialing it back just a little bit. Why don't you give the recipe that you suggested to me regarding the toast?
So just toast it, butter, Vegemite, and just a drop or two of some different sauce. Tomatoes is the first one I went with, but just sort of add a bit of color to your toast by flavor-wise by just a dollop or two of some weird sauce. I'm going to try Worcestershire sauce actually next. That'll probably kick ass.
I wonder if it works with Barbie sauce.
It probably would. Vegemite and barbecue sauce.
Yeah,
But I think it helps if it is not overly sweet. That's just why I was suggesting tomato paste.
Well, that's the part
Wouldn't
of
it
it.
be too savory though?
No, well, that's the weird part of this thing is if you get the really sweet tomato sauce with the really savory and salty Vegemite, it starts this tug of war with your taste buds and your smell too. It's like it's a really weird smell, but it doesn't taste anything like it smells, and it really fucks with your senses. That's why I enjoy it because it's a constant fight because different parts of your tongue detect the different things, bitter, savory, all of that, apparently, if that's the way it works.
Tomatoes are naturally sweet.
Sweet is at the front, I believe, and the bitter is at the sides, and sour is at the back.
Yeah, and so you get all of these as you're eating. It's like, and the thing is, you can't drown it in sauce because that ruins it. You just literally a couple of drops and just spread it over the toast, and yeah, it's just a different sensation because ever since I've met Landon and talked to Gail, and like they're big foodies and they talk about different sensations, not just about how it tastes, it's the texture in your mouth and the smell and everything and the presentation to your eyes.
Oh, all right.
It just makes it really interesting.
I've got a recipe for you both then.
Cool.
All right. Mashed potato, you peel your you peel your spuds, you chop them into, you chop them into dicing for boiling. You get 2 cloves of garlic and you pop them in whole. You break the skin off, obviously, and you pop them in whole. Then you mash them up with the mash when it's finished. To that, you add a good healthy dolloping of cream cheese, with or without chives, because you're going to add fresh chives, chopped chives in later as you're mashing it up. That's one. With that, you have some pork that you chop up and flash fry, to which you add some onions and mushrooms, and then you add some barbecue sauce and maybe a packet of fajita seasoning. Yeah, stir all that up and you serve them together. It's a little dish that I call barbecue bacon mushroom pork and cream cheese potatoes.
Fuck yeah.
So you just named the recipe, everything that was in the fucking dish.
Yep.
Yeah.
You fucker.
The best snacks I've ever had have been those hot pockets. Like just you get a spud and hollow the bastard right out, and then mix the potato in with a bunch of different stuff. Cook the outside bit of the potato and bake it, and then prepare also. You'd get diced bacon or whatever you want to throw in there. Then pack it all back in there and stick it back in the oven. And Jesus, those things are good. They really fucking are.
Yeah.
Delicious.
Yeah, to get the full effect, you have to use a barbecue smoky bacon barbecue sauce. because if you can put real bacon in there as well if you want to, that's an option. But with the with the artificial bacon flavoring in the barbecue sauce, you get that wonderful
Smoky.
bacon repetition about an hour and a half later. You know, like you get from bacon crisps.
Awesome sauce.
I got a recipe. It's you take a Pop-Tart, you stick it in a toaster, you press it down, and boom. Recipe.
Classy. Classy.
What is this wizardry of this instant food you speak of? You sound like a future man.
I call it Pop-Tarts.
Pop-Tarts?
Yes.
Sounds like a band I saw at one of the local pubs many moons ago.
Yeah. Anyway,
Pop-Tart.
You could do it with a banana and call it a pop banana.
Yeah, obviously,
You know
Pop-Tarts are all female band, right?
Yeah, did you know that the original Twinkie actually had a banana in it?
What?
Yes.
What?
Really?
Yes.
Really?
This is what I heard. Now, this
That's
is what I
because they
hear.
hadn't. That's because they hadn't figured out how to mash them up and turn them into a cream yet.
Yeah, but they stopped doing it because of cost. That's what I hear. This is what I heard years ago, and I don't know if it's, actual fact, but this is what I hear, and I always believed that. So
Now it's just aerated milk with a splooge of banana in it.
Yeah, now it's just shitty. Twinkie, I don't know what to do. Twinkies suck.
We get
I
them
want
here
one.
now. We get them here now.
I don't like them.
We don't want
want
Twinkies here. We want Cheetos Crunchy.
Yo, dude, you want the fucking fire Cheetos? Too.
We invented fucking Cheetos Crunchy cheese. We called them knickknacks.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well,
and you stole them.
You want to get the fucking fire ones, dude. They're hot. They're good. They're delicious.
I like them all, but the plain cheese. That's a fucking cheese knickknack, dude.
Yeah.
Thief.
Was yours really orangey like the Cheeto though?
Exactly the
same.
The Cheetos Crunchy cheese is a fucking knickknack.
Well,
and you can't get those fuckers here anymore. We want them back.
Well, yeah.
Fuck you.
Well, did you lose them because of Brexit?
No, we lost them long before Brexit.
Well, you're not going to get them back because of Brexit. Maybe that's it.
Well, I don't know. For a while there, I thought we might have been in with a chance, but it turned out it was only Donald Trump getting off Air Force One.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hypotheist said we did not steal them. We appropriated it.
Well, there you go. Cultural appropriation. I want to start an outrage crowdfunder to do something about this because this is outrageous.
They stole our Cheeto.
This is outrageous. Crowdfund me.
You know,
we gave it a better name though. Cheeto's a better name than Knick-Knack.
No, Knick-Knack epitomizes the fucking fruit.
And plus, we got Chester Cheetah out of it.
Knickknacks.
Chester
crunchy?
Cheetah.
Are they crunchy? Are they spicy? Do they bite? Do you bite them? Who knows? Nobody.
Chester Cheetah was nothing but a ripoff of the fucking cat from Paul Abdul's video. 2 steps forwards, 2 steps back. Anyways, I don't know why.
I thought that was him moonlighting.
Maybe it was. I don't know.
I remember that Cheetos cat from fucking years ago.
Oh, dude, Chester Cheeto's been around forever. I was just making a stupid joke.
Yeah. In fact, I think we even invented him too. He was originally the What's-Its fucking cat.
Oh, don't be taking credit for Chester.
You gave him a different name, so we can't. We just
Chester's a pimp.
America just steals everything, bro.
You shut the fuck up, you goddamn kangaroo fucker.
Yeah. Chester is just a fucking declawed Tony the Tiger, and we had him for Frosties.
Yeah.
Ah. See, they call them Frosties rather than Frosted Flakes.
Frosted Flakes, yeah. They're not called Frosties here, goddamn.
They're Frosties, damn it.
And by the way,
now Frosties makes sense. That's a word that makes sense.
Yeah, but now here's the thing. It does make sense. But here's the thing. Fuck Frosted Flakes. The way to eat cornflakes is Kellogg's original cornflake. then pour sugar on the shit.
No.
Yes. That's what
No.
Don't tell me no. Don't tell me no.
I will tell you no until the fucking cows come home.
This is how I want to eat my fucking cornflake. I eat my cornflake that way.
Here in America, if we want to eat cornflakes and get diabetes, we will goddamn do so because it's our patriotic duty to get fucking diabetes.
Brian, what's the proper way? What's the proper way?
So I just have.
I just said it.
I just have to get on record here. In a world of no, there is just no.
Record. It's record. It ain't record. It's record.
So, what is the alternative way to eat?
What's your
or
way?
frosting?
You just pour them in
Put
a
them in
bowl.
a fucking bowl. Put milk on them.
Exactly. That's all you need.
They're okay that way.
That's it.
They're okay that way. They're okay, but I'd rather have sugar on them.
What about putting slices of banana on top?
I love putting slices of banana.
You can put banana on top, yeah, but if you put sugar on that fucking thing, all you're getting is a mouthful of fucking sugar and meat with a bit of fucking starch.
He didn't say banana. He said banana.
Banana. Who gives a fuck?
Nanners.
It's basically in a world where America is trying to set a world record to get every citizen diabetic.
A cornflakes now.
One man says no sugar on my cornflakes.
All right, cornflakes is good with strawberries too. That shit's good.
Yeah, but no fucking sugar.
Yeah, put sugar on it.
No fucking sugar.
I said put sugar on it. We put sugar on it.
Drizzle a little bit of honey also is another thing to do.
That's just stupid.
Maybe.
But just a little bit, right? Just a little bit.
For a smart guy, that's stupid, Landon.
The thing is, okay, if you put strawberries or banana on there, you've got enough fucking sugar in the fruit itself.
Absolutely.
Already to swamp the flavor of the corn.
Yes, and so you want and in the milk, between the milk and the banana, you're risking not noticing there's corn in there.
Landon,
and you're also risking diabetes.
Landon, don't be a traitor. Landon's a traitor, goddammit. You're not American, Landon. Go move to Canada.
You are outvoted 3-1 here.
I ain't outvoted shit. My fucking show. I'll kick all y'all motherfuckers off here.
Look, did you see that the news report where that's apparently the hiker was injured and they had to back a Chinook up to the mountain and land 2 wheels on there?
I veto it.
You know what that actually was? That was just a dude getting the sugar supplies for his morning fucking bowl of fucking cornflakes delivered. Because it's America and that's how you do shit.
Yeah, and I am now officially resurrecting Red's right to fucking revolt.
Fuck yeah.
Nobody likes Red. Who cares?
We're gonna win this time.
Red
was adopted. His own family didn't want his ass.
That's not this. That's actually true.
Red is revolting, and I'll be fucked if we're not going to enable him.
I am disgusting.
That was good.
Wrong revolt. Damn it. God damn it. I
like that one. Take a quick moment to tell the audience that if you start tipping now, I'll read your messages at the end, and also we'll take Q&A here in a little bit. We end in about 37 minutes, but last 10 minutes we'll take questions and stuff and tips and new Patreons. We need them very much. Please help out. Okay. So cornflakes, however you want to eat them, are pretty damn good.
Yeah. Look, I dump half a bucket of sugar on everything I fucking eat, even if it's a steak. I'll just go, it needs more sugar.
Sugar on steak? What the fuck?
No, I'm kidding about the fucking actual steak.
I tell you what now. What is something what is something that you do with food that's very odd that most people don't do, like a certain food? Here's something that I eat. Oh, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say I ate some. Oh, let me finish mine and I'll let you do.
Yep.
Here's mine, and some people do it, and it's really tasty. And y'all gonna think it's gross though. Mayonnaise and banana sandwiches.
That's pretty good.
Landon likes it. Okay, cool. Mayonnaise and banana sandwiches are a bomb, dude.
I suppose that's
it's a sandwich. No, if you toast it.
Yeah, banana sandwiches I can get round.
But
the mayonnaise, I don't
You
know.
don't just slice the banana though and put mayonnaise on it. What you do is you mush the banana in the mayonnaise, mush it up real good, and then.
Yeah, that I can see working. That I can see working. I can see it working on toast better as an open sandwich.
That's probably as weird as me putting tomato sauce on Vegemite toast. So who am I to fucking judge?
Well, for me, I like you make a nice tomato soup, and you add to it a really nice powdered English mustard and some Vegemite.
There you go.
I'm trying to think of something weird, but then my wife's always telling me that everything I do in the kitchen is weird. But
what about, do you make black puddings? What about classic, like the classic dishes from the UK that gross everyone from other countries out, like black pudding?
Like them? Oh yeah, I love a bit of black pudding. It's fucking
Jesus Christ! Nice. Tell the folks at home what a black pudding is, just to freak them out a bit. Because I remember the episode where the goodies are running around thumping each other with black puddings. Remember, Ecky thump,
Ecky thump, Ecky thump.
Oh,
black pudding, Bertha.
Ecky thump, and he'd just walk up and whack people with the black pudding. They were wearing, that's right, they were wearing the cabbie hat. So a lot that was the uniform of the dudes. The art of Ecky thump was
the old Geordie hat.
Yeah, with a vest on.
Yep.
And the white shirt. That's right.
For those of you wondering in the US, we're talking about a wife beater. That sort of vest.
But
explain
to them what black pudding is.
Okay, black pudding essentially. It's in its. All right, essentially, it's a sausage that is made of congealed blood, fat, and various seasonings.
It's called blood sausage, right?
Essentially, yeah, it's a blood sausage.
Why now the question may well be asked, why the fuck would you do that? Well, back in the day when you really had to work hard to get food, you used every bit of the fucking cow of the livestock you could, every single fucking bit you could possibly eat, you would fucking eat. That's why things like haggis exist.
Exactly.
It's also why things like jellied eels exist.
Yep.
Yeah, it's also why things like pig's trotters, you'll find that you can still buy those in a British butcher. Pig's trotters.
I've watched my dad consume a fucking cow's tongue. He bought it home from the slaughter yard. He was drunk.
Oh, cow's tongue is delicious.
Yeah, just a massive pot, boiled the water up, threw the cow's tongue in there and sat there stabbing it with a knife till he was happy enough and started cutting bits off it. And I'm like horrified watching this man eat this big slug of it. Looked like an alien slug. I went, what is that? He said, that's a cow's tongue, son. Would you like some? I just went, no, Dad, and ran away.
Yeah, I had a similar reaction when I was small. But Stan mentions another one, tripe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yes.
Tripe. Now the thing with blood, and this has been known from ancient times, and I'm talking way back when you had blood ritual sacrifices. Yeah. Blood is known to be the giver of life, and that is very, very true when it comes to blood as a food source, because as Stan also points out, it is very high in nutrients.
Yeah.
And when you are in a nutrient poor economy, you fucking go for anything that has got concentrated nutrients in it.
Exactly. Which is why you found people eating all of these things, because not only did it satisfied their hunger, it actually sustained them and gave them the energy to go and hunt for more. Because if you've seen the size of what used to pass as a cow 5,000-6,000 years ago in what we now know as the UK, yeah, the prehistoric, they're twice the size of the biggest fucking cow you've ever goddamn seen. They're huge, big. The bones they find sometimes in digs, they're just like, yes, it's the same as a cow's bone, except it's twice as big as a normal leg bone. So these things are stood twice as high. They're like massive fucking cattle.
You can actually see this, or well, relatives of this animal documented in what the hell is it? One of the Greek Minos, the island of Minos, the Minoans.
Minotaur.
Yes.
There you go.
The legend of the Minotaur, it's believed to come from a sport which was essentially leapfrogging over the horns of one of these bastards as it was running towards you.
Oh, fuck. So that's the ancient version of the running of the bulls was the running of run at the ancient megalodon cow.
Yes.
Fuck that.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the oldest sports we have.
So back to
cow jumping.
Things that odd names for British names for food. One of the names I know I knew is appropriate for this show is spotted dick.
Oh yes. Good old
yes.
spotted dick with custard. A nice splooge of custard on there.
Yes, you can get it by the tin. A bit of spotted dick
with splooge.
With the splooge.
And you can actually buy it in tins with the splooge now.
Yeah, and we're not making this up.
Now comes with canned splooge.
Pimpmunk, this is real stuff.
Mm. Yeah, I know.
Essentially, for those that don't know, a spotted dick.
He's real impressed with spotted dick. Did you hear that? He's so excited.
Yeah,
did you see? Barely contain himself right now.
Absolutely.
There's two.
I have a spotted dick. So
but you can get yours treated at the clinic, Pimp.
Speaking of, I gotta go to the doctor this week. Tip and help me get there. Hey.
Help Pimp get his spotted dick treated at the clinic. Donate.
But now I've actually heard of spotted dick, so go ahead.
Yeah, essentially it's a sponge cake with raisins that you have hot with custard on.
Yeah. And the custard's important. Yes.
You mentioned something earlier about, talking about the foods that started out because people were poor. That's the way a lot of things like down here were started. Like my dad, there's nothing on a pig my dad won't eat, right? Balls, brains, everything. So that's a lot. There's a dish that I eat called it's basically mustard greens, right? Raw mustard greens and onions with some red eye gravy on it, and you eat it with cornbread. People are like, how can you eat this? Just raw fucking grass, basically. It's good. It started out because of poor people. But here's a fancy dish. Some people would think is fancy. Rich people eat it all the time. Started out because of poor. It's caviar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then it became a dish that rich people like to eat.
Yep.
By the way, Raisin Girl asked, Brian, do you eat faggots in gravy?
Oh, they are delicious.
Yeah.
They are absolutely delicious.
Red Eye eats faggots too, but it's a whole different thing.
I actually don't know what that is.
Okay. Well, in the British lexicon, faggot has numerous meanings. One is a pile of sticks that goes back to the Middle Ages.
Yep.
You have a more contemporary meaning, which is applicable to the LGBT community in a disparaging way, sometimes in an adoring way, but depends on context.
You faggot.
But you've the contraction. You've also got fag, which is a slang for a smokage like this. You can buy faggots in the supermarket here. You can usually buy them in a set of 4, and they come in a nice little foil dish with a gravy. And they are a local meatball. They are very delicious. I think they're essentially pork with onions and various spices. Meatballs in gravy, essentially, is what faggots in gravy are.
They
are delicious. They're bigger.
Okay.
A faggot tends to be about it's a bit smaller than my fist.
Yeah.
So the fist as made from a smaller hand than mine.
Sort of tangerine size.
Yeah, about the size of a tangerine. Yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like them because I love meat and I love gravy, but I don't like gravy on meat. I know it's weird, but it's just my thing.
So again, where are you going to find content like this on the internet? And if you want more, you should tip.
You should tip. Patreon. Because actually, I'm trying to get to the doctor this week because I'm switching doctors and everything, so it would help. And I don't have insurance, so yeah, if you want to tip, it helps out. But anyways, yeah, this good. It's a good show, and all the shows are normally like this. We'll start out with a starter topic. That's why I call them starter topics. I never say the show is this topic. I say it's a starter topic, and then we usually go different places. And and I like to do this because I love the way Joe Rogan does his podcast. He talks about like so many different things in one show, and I like doing that. So it's fun, and we've had a lot of fun on this show the past few weeks. Had a lot of great guests, even though today's the first time a guest hasn't showed up in a few weeks, so that's okay. He's probably fucking his cat.
I'd just like to answer Bunny's question about me fisting a faggot. Only with mutual consent and if I wanted to.
Red Eye says the hell with all that consent stuff.
Well,
yeah, but you see, rebellion is based on the antithesis of consent.
Antithesis.
That's one of those words, man.
Well, I'll just tell you this: we didn't consent to losing that war against the fucking emus.
You mentioned it again.
God damn it! Oh man,
what's an emu?
I'm gonna get in trouble with
a big
the
ugly bird.
government. Oh,
that's called that's a chicken.
No, they're like ostriches. They're like ostriches, except they're fucking militant and they can fucking fight wars and shit. Like we went after them with Browning machine guns and they won. How the fuck does that happen? They don't even have fucking arms. How do they couldn't shoot back, yet they won. I don't understand.
Maybe
Australians are pussies. That's why.
How the fuck do you lose a fucking war against a fucking flightless fucking bird?
If it was American, we'd won.
If I was you, Red, what I would do is I would hold a Senate investigation looking into the possibility of collusion with Razorbacks.
Yeah, there you go.
I think, look, America's got form.
Maybe even dingoes and kangaroos were in on the deal.
The dingo ate my baby.
I've got it. America's got form for fighting proxy wars in fucking other countries. You fuckers were supplying emus with intelligence and oh wow, you were supplying them with weapons. And oh Jesus, it's all going to come out in the wash in this Senate.
This is bigger than Benghazi.
So fucked. Yeah,
this
you guys
is bigger
are so
than Benghazi.
Fucked. That's right. You're all fucked now.
Trump, you're in trouble now.
Contra affair, fucking fart in a bubble bath compared to this shit. It's on. You fucking supplying emus with superior technology to survive the fucking war that we waged upon them, to rid them from their fine nation, and now look where we are. Covered in emus. Fuck. It's all your fault. Thanks, America.
November 2nd to December 10th. So we should have a oh, I'm sorry. We should have a non-commemoration starting November 2nd.
Yeah, it didn't happen.
I reckon there should be a fucking stamp.
No, we'll have the festival of plausible deniability. This didn't happen back on this day.
To answer the question in chat room, I can't do the credit card thing through Streamlabs right now because I don't have none of that. I don't have a bank account set up through it and our credit card thing. I only do the PayPal thing right now, but that will be taken care of in the future.
Please do be giving me your credit card details right now. We will be fixing your computer.
That will happen in the future, though.
Yeah, Milo36 has just asked us to play a video called "Fat Guy Eats Box of Twinkies" so that we can laugh at it. We don't need to play a video. Just one of us needs to get a box of Twinkies.
I ain't got no Twinkies. I ain't got no Twinkies.
Get me Twinkies.
No, I don't.
Come on.
I don't play video. Why is that funny though? I mean, hell, anywhere you go, you can say a fat dude eat Twinkies.
You just need to get on a bus, don't you?
Yeah, this is especially here in America.
Yeah, why use valuable YouTube time watching something you can see on a bus?
Yeah. You need to get out in public anyway, people. Goddamn. But there's a lot of fat folks out there, so yeah. I never found that funny watching fat people eat. It's kind of, I'm a fat dude. It's kind of sad. So.
Hell yeah, Raisin. I'm going to look to see if they're coming at me from behind.
Yep. The Twinkie attack.
There's nothing worse. There is nothing worse than a chocolate-filled Twinkie coming at you from the behind.
Chocolate filter.
Yes.
Those suck too. I thought they would make them better. They didn't.
They're slightly better.
They need to be banana flavor, not chocolate.
But then that's only because the chocolate cake is slightly better than that orange foam that they wrap around the normal Twinkie.
Yeah. Now zingers are good. They're kind of like a Twinkie, but they've got coconut on them and stuff. They're pretty good.
Coconut?
It's colorful too. They dyed the coconut like red for some reason.
Oh yeah, I'm getting heckled in the chat room here. Sorry about. I've got to deal with this. Yes, my wife is much cooler than me. It has to be said.
Fucking paper towel's more cooler than he is.
Vegemite Twinkie. That sounds like a. That sounds like a goer.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually going to go no. You see, Twinkies at like sugary goodness, whereas like the Vegemite is the savory goodness. And
yeah, but think of that battle going on your tongue, mate.
No.
Some battles are best for the birds.
Yeah, you don't want these two worlds to collide. It would just end in sadness and tragedy, I suspect.
You mean it'd be like crossing the streams in Ghostbusters?
Yeah, far worse. Far worse.
But you see, I've got you there because that turned out to be a good thing. That was accidental. That was accidentally delicious.
It'd be like birthing. Oh, you go, boss.
I think Landon was trolling you, but you didn't hear it. He said that battle would be for the birds.
Oh, Mr. Curtin. Oh, really? Shots fired, sir. Really, sir. All right.
I by the way, I do recommend looking up Sir George Foster Pierce, who holds the record for the Minister of Defense for the most number of years in Australia.
And he shoot a fucking emu.
I actually started off as a Labour Party and went to the Nationalists, but that's another story.
Son of a bitch.
Sorry? Who did what now?
He started off as a Labour Party, but went to Nationals. So
he started out as a commie pinko, and then he went over to the dark side. What? Our Labour Party.
Oh, your Labour. Oh, they're a bunch of
the shitty left-leaning fucking bunch of soft cocks that we currently have passing themselves off as the unionist movement.
No,
it's fucking pathetic. No, it is. It's fucking sad. It's like, identity politics might get us some votes. Ooh, it's like, fuck you guys, fucking dicks. Grow a spine, you fucking jellyfish. Good God. Sorry.
Well said. Well said. Well said.
Jellyfish don't have spines.
Yeah, exactly. The Labour Party are a jellyfish in a bucket full of snot.
And they're about as welcome, too.
Yeah, and as useful. What would you actually do with a jellyfish? Now, let's think about that for a second. What would you do with a jellyfish in a bucket full of snot? What purpose would that serve? It's kind of like the whole post-turtle concept, isn't it? It's like the same thing. There, you've got a new comparison. It's like you're either a fucking post-turtle or you're a fucking jellyfish in a bucket full of snot.
Well, you have Parliament. That's
the bucket full of snot, and all the fucking MPs are jellyfish. There you go. Best analogy ever.
Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and start taking questions now. And
you mean continue taking questions?
No, we ain't. Well, we normally don't do that, but you kind of jumped the gun there, man.
Oh,
yeah.
I was being heckled.
The reverb hijacked the show, boss.
No, he didn't. He's a pussy bitch. He didn't do shit.
No, not Brian. Just the reverb in his voice did it.
He's a pussy bitch. The reverb, not Brian.
Do not eat box jellyfish. No.
Yeah, I eat them. I say eat them.
Do not diss the reverb.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
Anyways, yeah. Also, remember to check out tomorrow's show. We have Wizard of Cause and D. That should be a good show. There's a few things I want to talk to about. Yeah. There's a few things I want to talk to Wizard about. Me and him has been bitching about the same shit on Twitter lately, so I thought we'd talk about that. And
I've got a question for Red Eye if we're in the question phase.
Okay, buddy, go ahead.
How do you know it's a bucket of snot and just not a bucket full of jellyfish?
Yeah.
Well, I've never seen a green jellyfish before.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out, where you would get such copious amounts of snot enough to fill a bucket. You've either got to save up a hell of a long time or get a really fuck-off big animal that produces copious amounts of snot. And other than an elephant, I can't really think of anything. Well, maybe a whale, but...
Or live in Australia and have a slight allergy to fucking eucalyptus oil, which just permeates the atmosphere constantly. Thus boosting the production of snot by at least 562% over the average human nose.
I hear you. So what you're saying basically is what they did was they just hooked some poor cunt up to a pipe and siphoned it off.
Yes. Well, we all walk around here just constantly going blowing snot out our nose because everyone's slightly allergic to the eucalyptus oil. That's why Australians... we talk like this. It's one of the reasons is the fucking eucalyptus oil. We're so fucking nasally, mate.
Well, here's another thought, and Landon, please, correct me on the science where necessary. But maybe what we're looking at here is that you Australians have produced sufficient snot that it's actually achieved a critical mass. I suppose either. So it's like attained critical mass and emerged sentience, and somehow,
Brian, it's called Pauline Hanson.
Voting it into Parliament.
It's a self-replicating sentient biomass of fucking snot.
Exactly,
Pauline Hanson. Yes.
Oh
exactly.
No!
And you've been fucking conned into electing this thing to sit in your House of Parliament.
Yeah, that's how it runs.
Damn.
And this happens in fucking in those electorate things. That's what we call them. That's right. It happens in electorates all over our country. We elect jellyfish to live in the big bucket of snot down in Canberra.
Right.
This is why they revolt to do
right.
This,
so
right?
So I'm having a vision now of your voting booths where you walk in there and instead of having a lever to pull or a button to push or an X to draw, you literally just hook your nose up to this fucking tube in the wall and blow.
Yeah, you gotta walk in and it's nothing as advanced as that. You just walk in and there's a communal bucket and we all just walk up and go empty our nostrils, right?
And
then there's pictures. Wait.
Yeah.
It's good. Then there's the pictures of the different coloured jellyfish. The different colours represent the different parties, and we just throw a dart at the one you want to fucking vote for, and you head to the pub. That's
Red
how you
snot,
vote in Australia.
blue snot, yellow snot, green snot. Yes. It's all and worse than that. It's mandatory. If you don't snot,
you
you
don't
get
go down
fined.
and donate. Yeah, $20 fine.
And a
we're not kidding.
And a false extraction.
Yep. They come around, it's not pleasant. They extract it from your butt, so they go in the long way. This really encourages you to partake in the fucking electoral process, which is why we have high voter turnouts every year. Year end at the lesson, children.
Whoa, then where does the donkey vote come into play?
That's just for thrill seekers that like butt stuff.
And the emus don't get a say in this, I gather.
That's why we wage war against the fuckers. They just want fair, clean democracy without the butt stuff. Fucking can't have that. Voter participation will drop below 30%. It's all over. Then the emus will take over unopposed.
I suspect they could probably outproduce you in the snot department.
Oh dear.
Democratic takeover.
And I just want to comment to Injun Joe. No, you're not high enough for this conversation. I'm not even high enough for this conversation.
I don't think anybody is.
That's frightening. Pimp doesn't even know what's happening.
No, it's not funny.
I don't think anybody is
not funny.
high enough ever for this conversation.
Yes. Only the top banana. Speaking of snot.
I mean, Jesus, you'd have to be fucking Shaggy or Scooby to fucking appreciate this conversation, or at least to follow it.
Yeah. Yep. So,
it's my fault.
Are there any questions?
That was one about Legos, but it was stupid, so I'm not answering it. What do we think about Legos? They're kids' toys, and they hurt like fuck when you step on them.
They do.
That's an adult's rite of passage to walk through a hallway with Lego pieces.
I was about to say it's something that any parent can testify. They've got Lego wounds.
Yeah, Milo, you keep asking the same question. One of my mods think you are spamming, and they will boot your ass. How about a banana in the ass? Well, ask TJ. None of us have stuck. Well, Brian may have. Have you ever stuck a banana in your ass?
Nope. That's TJ.
We have no idea. Ask TJ about that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, all the time TJ's doing it. I reckon I'm good. That's covered.
I tried it once, but I took it out of the pill first. I don't know why. I guess that.
Out of the peel? I think you have to put the peel. Well, anyway, yeah, never mind.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like Landon knows what he's doing. No. I just want to make banana pudding a different way.
Oh, back taco banana pudding.
Well, how else is he going to get it soft enough to add the mayo? Think about it.
Exactly, the mayonnaise sandwich, man.
Well, you just think about how much strength between your butt cheeks can generate when you sort of tensen them up. You can squish a banana quite easily with the fucking buns of steel.
I think we have some experience. I think we have some experience in the chat room. Luna is saying plantains are way better than bananas. I'm not sure if he's talking about for the sandwich or for the butt, but
plantains. I mean, I guess that's what you're going after.
I think she was talking about taste, but she might have meant the
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I'm virgin on siding with Luna on that. Plantains are fucking awesome bananas. They really are.
Yeah. And actually, there's a lot more bananas than the standard banana that you get.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I heard a vicious rumor that Luna breaks sex ties like a boss, and she may have had to go for an adventure in the fruit and veg aisle just to see if there was any organic replacements.
There are
salad shooter, dude.
There we go. Pop trivia. There are as many different varieties of banana as there are different varieties in the human dick.
Well, there you go.
Color, shape, size, taste.
Splooge.
Didn't know that.
Splooge, yeah. How well they mash. If they mash.
You can make a banana splooge. You just
need for Viagra.
Yeah. If you ever want to rape a banana.
They're scrambling to come up with a new hybrid banana because most of the banana stock in Australia is susceptible to a certain disease that's ravaging the rest of the world. Yeah, and it's finally here. We've got cases of that disease in Australia. I think it's rust and a couple of others that decimate entire banana producing nations. So they're now struggling or scrambling to come up with a new hybrid banana that they can roll out because they don't have seeds. They used to. Don't have seeds anymore, and if you lose all of your plant stock, you're kind of fucked.
Yeah, I remember seeds in bananas.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I can remember in the 80s them marketing the seedless banana as the real world saver, real game changer for the banana. I also, it's also the quest is on to engineer the perfect banana for stacking. So Europe is currently experimenting with a Viagra wash to straighten them.
Do not tell Ray Comfort because God made the banana.
You seen what the Japanese do? They grow melons.
Just so you can handle it.
Right. Well, the Japanese.
I just made that up, by the way.
Oh.
Well, I sort of like. But so did Ray Comfort. By the way, Engine Joe regarding Swedish Special Forces and Legos. I had an acquaintance of mine that set a world record for walking 37 meters on Legos.
Damn!
Distance,
what?
bare feet, 37 meters of solid Legos. Right?
Yeah, but if they were nicely pieced together, that's different from walking across.
And they had they had these large buckets full of Legos that they put down a path.
Yeah, but were they all were they all jumbly or
yes, all
they
jumbly.
okay, all right.
Yeah.
So he
Fine.
walked the 37 meters, then screamed in agony one final time and just dropped dead. But he set the record. I don't know if that was worth it. 37 meters.
Look! You know, man breaks record by walking on Lego bricks barefoot.
Damn.
Jesus
Well, I have to
Christ.
say it's slightly more civilized than walking on burning coals or anything like that our ancestors did. It's a little bit more civilized.
So
Down
do
here
you
we gotta think
remember
we walk
Metal
on children.
Jacks? Someone to know. Metal Jacks.
What was that, boss?
Yes,
That
Jacks, otherwise known as chicken bones.
It don't matter.
Yeah, go on.
I forgot what I said. Honestly, it don't matter.
It's your show.
I know. That's
That's tight.
That is tight. I'm hurting
All right.
actually, at the moment. Actually, my legs are starting to hurt.
You're right.
Oh, I'm fine.
All
I'm good. I'm good.
Right.
Yeah, mini couch
Metal-
tops you pick up, like pick up 6.
Yeah, also known as, or originally known as chicken bones. They used to play it with a little wooden ball and a bunch of dried chicken's feet.
Oh, well, that's fucked up.
Wow.
But yes, nowadays it's a little rubber ball and little metal caltrops.
So I did not know that. I did not know that's how the game of jacks got started. Damn, that's
Why the other name for it is chicken bones.
I've never heard it called chicken bones. Actually,
Oh, you see, you're
you
not as
should be
old as me.
You should be tipping because of this educational content you're receiving.
exactly. You should also be tipping because Red House gay.
And that one I didn't make up. The banana
Allegedly.
wash I did.
I make up shit all the time and just pass it off as facts, so it's okay. You know the best of that is Billy the Fridge. That motherfucker will talk and he'll say all kinds of shit, and all of a sudden I'll just look at him like you're fucking lying, because you think he's real forever, and then all of a sudden you just realize this dude's so full of shit. He'll never say you.
Now, speaking of truth and falsehood, this may be true, but I believe chicken bones have been found in the Egyptian pyramids.
Really?
That may be true. I believe it's true.
This may or may not be true. They also found a pizza pie in the Egyptian pyramids.
delicious.
Yeah.
In a microwave oven.
Yeah, they called it a granite slab.
Have they found any pyramids inside the pyramids?
No, they found some triangles.
They found aliens.
On a lot of cuboids.
Like cuboids. They found chicken bones in the pyramids, though.
So it turns out
They have found ancient batteries in Iraq.
yes.
This is true.
Citrus. They made them.
That
from,
is true.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't a fruit battery. It was
What?
copper and zinc. I believe.
Oh, that's right. In the jars, in the clay pots.
Yes,
Is that
in the clay
yeah,
pots.
Yep.
Dude. They've been finding a lot of shit lately, man. I was watching the Joe Rogan show, and there was this one dude who, that's all he does is study that shit. And I can't remember none of what he said because I have a horrible memory. But he was saying all kind of shit that they're recently finding that they did that, like, it's like killing all kind of theories about those people.
Yeah. But here's the thing. When you look at the age of the oldest pyramid, you're talking what, 10,000 years or more? Yeah. And you've got something like an 8,000-year span during which the pyramids were built. Yeah. So you've got like 8,000 years between the oldest, which is really crude and rough and broken and very experimental.
Yeah.
And the newest, which is fucking pristine and state of the art. Now, when you consider you've got 2,000 years between then and Cleopatra, yeah? Cleopatra was living in an age where her fucking monuments were built so long ago, the industry that made them was long forgotten. So even she didn't know how they built the fucking things, and she lived in them.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
Yeah. Now, 10,000 years, you can build an entire civilization, develop numerous fucking technologies to perfection and beyond, get state of the art, yeah, and still have time to forget about it because it's built now. Nobody needs to know how to build it again because we've got it.
Yeah, and you also take into consideration things like fires that burn through major population centers, and records and libraries are lost, and all of the records and we lose vast amounts of information throughout history due to fires in certain libraries and museums and different cities, like the fire of London. There's London burnt to a bloody crisp a few times.
You got the library. You've got the famous example of the Library of Alexandria. Yeah. Now, pyramids were already ancient and forgotten technology before most of the Library of Alexandria was fucking compiled. Yeah. So the chances are that even the Library of Alexandria didn't have that knowledge in it.
By the way,
not to mention the fuck ton of knowledge that it did have that we've now lost.
By the way, the guest I was talking about that was on Joe Rogan's show was Graham Hancock.
Okay.
One last point before I leave that one, and that included a working version of evolution.
Evolution.
They know that. They know that. They know that because, help me out here, Landon. Greek, 2nd or 3rd century BC. He was one experiment away, and it was the guy that he had the whole thing figured out with one exception, and that was proven later by a simple experiment with 2 dead fish and isolating one under a covered glass and seeing how, because the only thing that he got wrong was he couldn't account for larvae forming in dying flesh.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and that experiment was done later. Yeah, but had he done that experiment, he would have actually had evolution covered in the 2nd or 3rd century BC. And I forget what his fucking name was. He was as far as I'm aware, he was a contemporary. He was a contemporary of people like Aristarchus and Aristophanes, possibly. It was that sort of era.
Yeah.
It was when they were first coming up with the idea of a solar-centric rather than a heliocentric system. And then, Platonic political supremacy kept that idea buried right the way up until, was it Galileo, essentially?
Oh, look at the time. It's the end of the show, everybody. Sad face.
No.
So if you enjoyed this evening's entertainment, we'd love for you to become a Patreon. Come and hang out in the Patreon server. We've got a lovely section where Landon dumps really cool science stuff.
And about to put some more volcanic stuff.
There's also Shitpost Central where you can post all the splooge that you like.
Yeah. Also, I changed something on the Patreon perks last night. I needed to talk about that. I'm glad you brought that up. It's where it says I think it's the $10 one where it says we'll watch a movie or whatever. Well, basically, we're not going to do that because I can't do that right now, but I will in the future. But right now, for a $10 perk, we're going to have a private hangout on Discord. That's Discord hangout only, private hangout. We're also going to do the private show, the YouTube show, for $5 and above. But for $10, we have a private hangout once a month, and where everybody comes in for on that tier and $10 tier. And we'll come in, we'll hang out. I'll be in the voice chat with you and all that stuff. So, yeah.
And it'll be private.
Yeah.
I'll even bring guests on sometime to come in and hang out.
Sweet.
Some more popular YouTubers or whatever sometimes. But yeah, that's one thing I've changed up because I can't really do the movie thing right now.
There's a way to do that, but we can't. Yeah, doing it on anywhere near YouTube is definitely not a good idea. I forget what the thing it was, Rabbit TV or something. I forget.
Yeah, there's a thing on Rabbit. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple of services you can use to get around it. I think you buy a license for the night cheap and get to certain amount of views.
I'm gonna look into more of that, then I'll add that to the tier. But right now we're just gonna do it like I said, that $10 tier will be a Discord hangout. But yeah, there's different channels on there. There's one that you can go on and recommend guests. I can't promise you I'll get them, but I can try. There's also a topic recommendation channel. There's the science thing. There's a food thing, I do believe, and we're gonna be adding more too. So,
okay, is there a salty tier?
Salty tier, maybe
we will make one.
There we go.
There you go. Do it. Do it.
I'm thinking about doing a Netflix review tier, where I go in and I'll write up a little article and about things that I watch on Netflix and review the stuff in there.
So yes, if you're unsure which porn channels to tune into, that's the place to go.
Yeah. We don't have that no more. We did have a not safe for work, but that got jilted out real quick.
There was one. I'll just point out one person did some stuff. Was not very cool. Made another or someone else in the community really uncomfortable, and I was a bit slow to catch it, but I did catch it eventually. Again, I apologize to the person that was harassed. Yeah, sorry about that.
It was oversplooged.
There was just there was
implied.
a certain.
It was implied.
A certain community member was doing some things that were very inappropriate. They were they were told it was not wanted. Yeah. Well, they were told quite clearly, please stop, and they kept going. So I just nuked the entire area because fuck that shit.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It happens.
There's nothing worse than unwanted splooge. It's a bad thing. It's
just one person and their unwanted splooge can ruin a fucking entire party.
It's the bad splooge that wrecks the whole bucket.
There you
That's
go.
right, mate.
Now, unwanted splunge, that's different.
Oh, no, that's. I don't know if we can talk about that live.
Is that just surprise sex? Metaphorically speaking.
Well, yes and no, but I'm not being indecisive.
I think that surprise sex stuff, there's another classification for that in the court system, and it starts with R.
I think this question is directed at me because, by the way, thoughts on Hulk Hogan coming back. I have no problem with it. With Hulk Hogan coming back. Did
what you gonna do?
Did he say something racist? He said the N-word, but he was bitching about his daughter going with a black guy, basically, and or whatever. And did he made a mistake? Should we condemn him for the rest of his life because of it? No. I think everybody is allowed a chance to change.
Well, okay, I know nothing about this, but just on the face of what you've said, he's entitled to his own private feelings about what's going on in his daughter's life.
Yeah.
Hang on, let me finish. He's entitled to his own private feelings as to what's going on in his daughter's life. If he exercises some control over what happens in his daughter's life, that's stepping over a line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, basically, it was privately recorded while he was fucking a chick. And he talked about it after he had sex with a chick. And the guy had a camera set up in the room. It was a whole big deal about the sex tape. And I guess that's when he said the N-word or whatever. Thoughts on Alex Jones? He's fucking stupid.
He's
an actor.
He put gay frogs in the chemicals, and then he put the gay chemical frogs into the chemtrails, and then made everything go. That's what Alex did.
The scary thing about Alex Jones is Alex Jones don't believe what he says, but the people that listen to Alex Jones does. That's the scary thing.
Yeah.
What happened with the Civil War? Second Civil War.
He had an explanation for it that day.
Sorry, did you say Civil War?
Yeah.
The second one.
Second Civil War.
According
to Alex Jones.
Yeah, he said
1776 will rise again.
He said it was going to be a civil war breakout that day, and it didn't happen.
Yes.
Yeah. What was the excuse?
Well, it did happen, but not the way everybody thought he meant.
You mean it wasn't?
Bullshit.
It wasn't the second battle of Bigleyburg?
Yeah, basically. It had some kind of like long ass excuse saying that it's he wasn't talking about, you know, blood battles and stuff. He was talking about, I don't know what the fuck he was talking. He was just weird. You know, just like the guys who predict the end of the world, they got an excuse for it the next day. So,
talking of Bigleyburg, briefly,
yeah,
as I mentioned it, I posted a photograph that was taken at Bigleyburg in Shitpost Central earlier.
Oh, okay.
Anybody's seen it yet?
I'm gonna post a picture of Red Eye's face in Shitpost Central.
There's also a satellite photograph of Trump's visit to Moscow.
Oh,
yeah.
In
I also see, by the way, I see that there's now there's a conservative member for a group is now supporting for a call for a second referendum.
Oh,
on
geez.
Brexit.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. May's cabinet is in disarray right now. I personally don't think that she's going to last very much longer as prime minister. And if she loses the office through no confidence in her cabinet, which I see as highly likely, then that will essentially call a general election. So we'll have another
election.
We'll have. I think an election is more likely before a second referendum.
And I'm sure even a second referendum is. I don't know what
personally.
You're going to get.
Personally, I think it would be a good idea, if only to because the first one was conducted under such levels of misinformation and what looks to be a test run of the Russian meddling that happened in 2016 in the States. I think a second referendum would be a good idea, if only to confirm the British opinion, now that what Brexit means has actually been explored and people have got some idea of what the connotations are, which they didn't have last time. Some people are saying that that would be a betrayal and it would be a case of, right, well, let's keep having this until we get it right. And I think those people are fucking idiots. I think they're knuckle draggers that just don't want to risk people actually casting their vote based on an understanding of the issue. There you go. That's my tuppence.
There you go. Well, guys, 12 minutes over. I made up for the few minutes that we were late starting. And Brian's a jack of all. I don't know what I was going to say. I was going to say something. No, he's not a jackass. Brian's a jack off.
Yeah, that works better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, do you say jag?
On stuff.
Before we go, here's a question. Do you say jag off or jack off? Because some people say jag off, some people say jack off.
Well, the options I have open to me are jack off or jerk off, and I use both.
Jerk off is another one. That's another one. I've heard jag off, and I don't know why they say jag.
Jag, I don't know. I've never heard that. But all I can think of is that it's a yuppie version of, you know, it's instead of go and have a wank, it's like go get into your jag.
Yeah, rich people fucked it up.
Exactly. Yeah, rich people fucked it up.
Stan says jag off. Anyways, I think jack off. I like the way girl.
It's probably just a piss pronunciation of jack off.
And up until recently, I never heard this, but this one chick told us she was going to go Jill off.
Yes.
And that was pretty good.
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
So in Australia, everyone just fucking goes and has a wank.
A wank? That is what you guys say, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, the pragmatic approach is always worth exploring.
Yeah, and it's totally gender neutral. It's like girls can wank, guys can wank, everybody wanks.
Yeah, see, this is just quickly before we close, because I know you're waiting to close the show. But yeah, all of these gendered slurs, yeah, calling people a bitch, calling them a cunt, calling them a dick, all of these variations, yeah. Just call people wankers. Everybody wanks. There's nobody that can take offense to it, except the person that you're throwing offense at, obviously.
Or maybe the Queen.
Because they're fucking wankers.
Even the Queen wanked, I'm sure, in her time.
But see, in the White House, they say.
I mean, she's 90 years old now, but so I don't think she does anymore.
Yeah.
But I'm sure she has done, just as she's shit every day of her life.
But Melania Trump, you know what she does? She pulls the Cheeto.
Oh.
Ooh.
Anyway,
She gets orange dust all over her hands.
I wonder. Yeah, I wonder if every time she gives him a blowjob, she comes up with orange dust all over her face.
Yeah, just to be sure. Just to clarify here, we are talking about the fat puffy ones, not the good crunchy ones.
You know, what historians are going to do in 1,000 years from now? They're going to find a photo of that fucking balloon being surrounded by people looking at it, and they're going to fucking think that we're worshipping one of our gods.
Yeah. Well, if you become a patron, then you could have gone over to Shitpost Central on the Discord channel and seen some pictures that my former interns took of that balloon over London.
Oh.
I might go and grab a few of those and isolate them for future memes.
Nobody did anything today as far as financially helping this fucking channel because they're a bunch of faggots. And I don't mean goddamn cigarettes or meatballs and gravy.
You ain't bundle of sticks either.
Or
I think-
bundle of sticks.
I think we may have done you a disservice there, Pimp. We were too entertaining.
It wasn't, though. That's the point.
Oh.
That's the reason I didn't get tips. Because you weren't entertaining, you fucker.
Well, no, you see, they were too busy laughing at us that they couldn't see straight to hit the
it's
fucking
too
donate
busy
page.
fucking watching something else because you were talking. And I'm joking. You guys were quite funny, quite entertaining.
Yeah, I should stick to radio.
No, you guys are awesome.
Now they know that Red Eye is not a closet Kiwi.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm glad you were making good jokes because I'm actually not feeling well today, so it's not the best day for Pimp. But I'm a professional. I plow through.
The show must go on.
Let's get this thing over so the boss can go and get some.
Oh, now I want to keep going because you try to act like you bosses got. No, I'm joking. You're right. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching.
Thanks for putting up with us.
Yeah, no problem. Now I'm just trying to annoy.
And I'm gay. There you go. I did it for you.
I'm just lingering it on because I want to annoy you just a little bit.
Sorry, you mean you are a fruit?
I am a fruit.
Yes.
Oh,
we're all gay.
Okay,
And
so
you're all wankers.
Breaking news. Breaking news. Red Eye confirms that he is in fact a kiwi fruit.
Oh
Yes.
my goodness.
But thank you guys for watching. We